Well, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear weapons, commonly referred to as CBRN weapons, are certainly among the most fatal and disruptive potential attacks that our nation faces. Recent examples of CBRN agents used by nefarious actors include the use of an advanced nerve agent in an assassination attempt by Russians in the United Kingdom. And it certainly demonstrates the need for an increased ability to prevent, to detect, and to respond to these types of weapons in the future. Mr. Resicott, as someone who works on these threats each and every day, I'd like to know what keeps you up at night. Let the committee know that. And why is the existence of a CWMD office so important to counter these threats?
Thanks for the question, Senator. And I think you kind of hit the answer right up in your opening your opening of that question. I think the chemical piece is one that we need to continue to address, and we're working very hard on that. You know, in 2018 we were funding that at about $800,000 a year. We're up to $6.1 million a year now as we try to get more information out to our state and local stakeholders as to how to recognize chemical threats and then how to take immediate action to avoid injury. The other piece of that is I really think that CWMD is the right place because, as I said in my opening statement, countering WMD takes specialized skills, training, and equipment. You can't get that overnight. You need to invest in that. You need to stay current in it. The threat is continuously evolving. The department needs an office whose sole focus is to maintain this capability within the department and share that knowledge and capability with our state and local first responders. I believe CWMD is the right office to do that. I believe that we have the expertise, we have the skills, we have the capacity, and we have the knowledge, and we are getting much better. I will admit we stumbled a little bit on as we transition in the merger on our state and local engagement, but we are getting much better at that. We are doing a lot more outreach. We have refined many of our products so they speak to the end user, and I think, you know, the GAO is telling you that our stakeholders are responding to that.
Thank you. On June 23rd of this year, Senator Portman and I introduced S-4465, the Offices of Countering Weapons of Mass Destruction and Health Security Act. The bill reauthorizes the CWMD office and formally authorizes the newly created Office of Health Security at the Department of Homeland Security. It clarifies roles and responsibilities for both offices and adds important accountability and oversight measures. My question is for you, Mr. Resicott and Dr. Gandhi. Can you, we'll start with you, Dr. Gandhi. Can you briefly discuss how this legislation will help you achieve your mission to protect the homeland against weapons of mass destruction and health threats?
Senator, thank you. For the last 18 months, our team has served as a nerve center for everything public health and medical that the department has had to face, ranging from Operation Allies Welcome, Uniting for Ukraine, the medical and public health implications of both of those efforts, the implications of what we're seeing at the southwest border, thinking critically about how we ensure our workforce health and safety in the midst of a pandemic. Seemingly every critical issue that DHS has engaged in over the last couple of years has had this strong public health and medical nexus, yet our responses, while strong and robust, in many respects were ad hoc, because we were working in a system that wasn't designed for the kinds of threats that we have faced over the last couple of years. The benefit of having faced those threats and dealt with them head on is that there are a slew of lessons learned. And the hope is to institutionalize those lessons learned so that we can, one, pioneer the best-in-class workforce health and safety programs that we need to, two, focus deeply on how we do coordination and oversight and standardization and accountability all across the department. Three, ensure that we're centralizing the medical and public health safety data and public health data. And lastly, continue what has been a full-scale engagement with our state and local partners. Our ability to do all of that, to be engaged and have a strong ground game locally, to do the coordination and standardization that's required, and to lead on policy is predicated on having a strong central office that can speak with one voice. And so I think there's an opportunity here where we institutionalize the lessons learned from the last couple of years and move forward.
Mr. Escott?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We want to thank you for the exceptional bipartisan effort to put the bill together. We have no recommended changes to it, and I think it really starts to strengthen the office. One of the key ways it strengthens the office is it really clarifies our roles in the chemical and the biological threat spaces. It also helps that it's permanent. It's very hard to get out and do all this partnership with both our federal family as well as the state and locals without that permanence to the office. These people are very busy people. They want to invest in the right people. I think we are the right people. I think we can help them, but I just want to make sure that they know that this is an enduring relationship. And lastly, I really like the collaboration parts of it, the advisory council that's in the bill, because we have done this on an ad hoc basis, and I think a lot of that's based on my personality, but I think we need to institutionalize that outreach to stakeholders and make it a requirement.
All right. Thank you. Dr. Sherman, I believe that you've had a chance to review the legislation that Senator Portman and I have introduced, and I'd like you to comment on the potential impact of the accountability measures included in that legislation on the CWMD office and the Office of Health Security.
Thank you. I think the accountability measures and mechanisms that are in place in the bill that was introduced are, as I mentioned in my opening statement, quite positive steps forward and can have a great impact in ensuring that the steps that CWMD has taken and will take in the future will be aligned with its mission and with ensuring that, among other things, that engagement with state and local partners continues. So the advisory council that Mr. Rascott mentioned, in addition to some specific requirements for the office itself, a role that GAO can play in taking a look at several different issues, as well as the national academies and the support that they would provide in the biological and chemical space, we think is all really reassuring and very beneficial.
Thank you, Dr. Sherman. Senator Portman, you're recognized for your questions.